Hello, hello, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution Friday. It's a free for all Friday. Since I went live in the rec room last night, my setup, and I try to put everything back, like my laptop, my mouse pad, the camera. It's like, oh, everything's in good place, and I don't realize it's not in its proper place until I actually hit live, and it's like, okay, the laptop needs to be pushed back 3 inches. Okay, there's not okay the camera angle. So what's up? Let me check. Am I muted? Am I muted? I should be muted, but if you can hear me, I'm not muted, which means I was still getting levels on my audio. I don't think the proper not muted. So this microphone, for some reason, it wasn't showing up in my audio settings. I wonder if I can edit. Nope, we don't want to do that. Okay, so we've got a busy chat. Fridays are always fun. I think Jenny mentioned that. Fridays are always the best days of Hobby Evolution. Well, I hope that today lives up to that. Travis, good morning to you. Early for a change. What's up, Victor? John, hope everyone's doing well. Back at you. Doing great here, says Jenny, catching up on shipping to get outside after. Finally sunny and warm. Absolutely. It's still a hoodie Friday, although this hoodie is a little lighter. It's going to be in the mid 60s today. So I may have to shed the hoodie, but it's always kind of chilly here in the basement. So hoodies are appropriate. And then next week, no hoodie Friday next week. If it stays, I think Monday we've got the heat wave coming in. We're going to be in the 80s most of next week. So I am looking forward to that. And I think I'm gonna have to shed the hoodie because I think I'm gonna mow today. What's up, Dan? Good evening to you. Let's see. I still can't believe the Mets rallied for the win last night. That was crazy. Aaron Nola, my pitching sucks this week in my fantasy lineup. Today, going into Friday, I don't have a single win, save, or hold in my matchup through what's that? Monday, Tuesday, 4 days of action. I promised at the beginning of the season I wouldn't talk too much about my fantasy baseball team. Where's my matchup? But I do. It's kind of 0 wins, 0 saves, 0 holds in a 5.88 ERA. So I'm 2-1 in fantasy. But my team is kind of struggling, although it's been kind of a wacky year. We'll talk real baseball now. It's been a wacky start, and I think a lot of that has to do with the weather. The weather has been just absolutely awful. So I think a lot of the poor performances are weather related. Straight execution, what's up? Good morning to you. Random topic. eBay non-payment people are killing me. Had a guy send an offer for a $35 card. I accepted. 4 days later, still no payment. That pisses me off. That should have been addressed. I thought eBay was going to make offers and offers like automatic payment. And I'm still having issues with those settings where it's not working, where this isn't, you have to pay automatically, and it's not. Even I'm going to get into it. My Elly De La Cruz, this is going to be the last time you see it in my hands. This sold last night. I had automatic payment because I was worried a higher end card like that, it's going to be shilled or whatnot, just to get, some comps out there. It was paid for, but it wasn't immediate. I mean, it was fast payment, but it wasn't like immediate payment. And so that made me nervous because I had the setting set to automatic payment. So eBay does need to fix that. And I'm going to talk a little bit about how I try to not really get around, not really the right term to use, but how I try to prevent non-paying issues. Ed, what is up? Good morning to you. DR says, morning. I have to watch later, but just wanted to say have a great weekend. Thank you. And you as well. Terry, good morning to you. So John says, do you or does anyone play Out of the Park Baseball? It's a great computer game. I'm an old school computer gamer. It's very time consuming. No, I don't play any games. And I was never really a big gamer growing up. Of course, I grew up on, like many of us, based on my YouTube, we're all in the same age demographic. What's up, Herman? But I, growing up in the Nintendo computer games, for me, probably for you as well, Oregon Trail. But I never like played a lot of video games. I played my good amount of Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt, Excite Bike, Contra, Tecmo Super Bowl, Double Dribble, Blades of Steel, some of those games. But I never really evolved. My video gaming didn't evolve from the NES. So I went the Sega route. I didn't like Super Nintendo. I went Sega Genesis. Played a good amount of Sonic the Hedgehog, and Madden football was my favorite for Sega. Of course, NBA Jam. Actually, NBA Jam was my favorite. What else did I play on Sega? Coach K College Basketball was an awesome Sega game. And then I went to PlayStation, and that's kind of where my video gaming ended. The video game Driver was so freaking awesome. I think I was in high school when that came out. And I played that, but I never, my video gaming didn't evolve really from there. Let's see. Ed says, I play Out of the Park in a very competitive league. Love it. That's cool. Jenny says, my computer game growing up was Backyard Baseball. Love those Backyard Baseball cards. I have seen those. I don't think I ever played Backyard Baseball. I used to be a huge MLB The Show guy, but it just got super repetitive. The only sports game I really played on PC was Joe Montana Football. The only PC game I played, in my friend was like, he was like an early adopter when it came to computers, because his mom worked for the phone company. And so he was like the first person I knew with the internet. And so we played, what were some of the, what was that racing game? Was it Need for Speed? Was that a computer game? He had like a NASCAR game and like Need for Speed. And man, we would play the crap out of those games. But then when I got my own computer, I didn't really play many games, I don't think. Pong was my first system in 1978. Nice. Jeremy, what's up? Good morning to you. Lakers versus Celtics basketball. I remember playing that. I'm older than most here. I imagine I'm 50, so my gaming was very early. Dang Quesadillas. I like that name. That's a cool name. Dang Quesadillas, or Quesadillas. Anybody opening 2022 Bowman Hobby? I've only bought blasters. I am not. I'm staying away from Bowman Hobby. But I do want to talk a little bit about Bowman today. By the way, awesome avatar, the Bowman logo. So I'm going to talk Bowman today, and I'm probably going to buy some more, and I'm going to explain why in just a bit. Out of the Park is a sim game like Stratomatic. Okay, got it. Zach is with us. What's up? Diego, good morning to you. Jenny says, stick to blasters, in my opinion. I'm going to check retail today for more. So far, I've bought one and made my money back while keeping the Twinkies from it. Let's see. More bang for the buck. I got caught up watching the making of Monkey Island on YouTube. So I love retail when it comes to Bowman, and I have for the last like 4 years. Now, Fanatics.com had a great deal on retail boxes. I think they were $150. If you had a Costco membership and maybe Sam's Club, you can get the gift cards. You can get $50 Fanatics gift cards for $40. That'll drive the price down on those boxes. Got something stuck in my throat. And you can get those prices down to like 42 cents per card. Oh, at retail, I don't know what. I think I'll finish this thought on Bowman. You can get them down to like 42 cents per card, where I think in retail it's like 45 or 6 cents per card. Anyway, so I've got something in my throat. What happens when the weather warms up like this, I don't get to enjoy it right away. Why? Because my allergies kick my rear end. So as soon as we get that heat wave, I'm probably going to be feeling like crap for a couple days because the weather changes just give my head fits. Zach says, congrats on selling that card to Fart and Dust. You two make amends. It's a good sign for humanity. What Zach is talking about, I sold this last night. Speaking of Bowman, Elly De La Cruz, first chrome auto yellow refractor, numbered to 75. This bad boy, I bought 27 blaster boxes. So no, I didn't just go to Walmart, buy one blaster box and pull that fire. I bought 27 blaster boxes, but this one card has already paid off all 27 of those blasters plus a profit. So that sold for $1,300. That's the most expensive card I've ever pulled in all of the boxes I've opened. Before that, I can't really remember, maybe 500. Some of the hot pulls that I've had through history, I pulled one Superfractor. It was a Topps Chrome Update Christian Arroyo. I sold it for $200. I think the buyer actually got it graded, and it's on eBay right now. I think it's listed for like maybe $250 or $300. So I feel good that I made $200 5 years ago on that card. And didn't have to grade it. Of course, when he got it graded, it probably cost like $12. So I pulled out of Allen and Ginter. I pulled a dual auto relic Ken Griffey Jr. Mike Piazza the year they went into the Hall of Fame. Surprisingly, that only sold for like $300 some. This Elly De La Cruz, by far the most expensive card I've ever pulled out of a box of cards. So that did sell. So my net after fees and shipping is like $1,100. And I spent $910 on retail blasters. I've already probably sold 600 to 700 singles and other hits. Plus, I keep all the Cubs. Like Jenny said, I kept all the Twins. I keep all the Cubs. And I pulled a Cubs auto, first chrome auto of Pablo Aliendo. So it was a hell of a good break. Now, I'll probably get crushed if I buy any more. But I think I'm going to go to Walmart today and look for some, because I'm a sucker for Bowman. Let's see. Jenny says, first time I got called the full name Jennifer on the show. LOL, am I in trouble? Let's see. Very nice. Congratulations. Thank you. Rascal 30. So now do you send the card to CSG for authentication? Yeah. So with the process, it's down to, it might be $250 now. Let's see. I'm going to get to Zach's comment in a second. So yes. So this, since it's over, it's either 250 or 500. It goes into the authentication guarantee program. So I ship it to whoever it is, CSG, whatever, and then they send it off to the buyer. So yeah, so I ship it off to the authentication program, and then they inspect it, and then they send it off to the buyer. So that's how that works. So far, I'm 1 for 1 on the authentication guarantee program. Diego says, ridiculous, but congrats on the sale. Thank you. I think it's ridiculous. I would never pay. I don't even want to pay $100 for a 20-year-old prospect in the Midwest League. But people do, and I'm happy that I pulled it, and I have zero reservations on selling this card because it pays for all of those boxes. So I'm very happy. And if it goes up, and I'll get to Zach's comment here in a second, because I've looked back, I've looked in the rearview mirror on some of my sales. What's up? Mark Hoyle is with us. Zach says, false. Isn't that Giannis rookie auto the most expensive card you ever pulled? It is in hindsight, but at the time I sold it for $67. You just didn't sell at its peak. Yeah. So technically, I guess, yeah, but from a pull and sell standpoint, this is by far the most expensive. But yeah, 2017, I bought a bunch of Timeless Treasures boxes from Blowout Cards on their Black Friday sale. They were like $10 or $20 a box. That draft class, they were 2012-13, the Giannis draft class. Giannis wasn't Giannis that he is today. He was good in 2016. I think it was 2016, maybe 2017. He hadn't blown up yet. So yeah, I pulled a rookie auto numbered to 50, I think, or 75. It sold for like $65, $75, somewhere in there. And at one point, I think during the peak, it was around a $2,000 to $3,000 card. But I'm not crying. Let's see. When Cease blows up, you will retire. And I've moved. I moved. Actually, I've only moved two. I think I sold I know I sold the gold refractor auto of Dylan Cease, and I sold maybe a blue auto. But all the rest I kept. And then, of course, I gifted Porter a chrome auto. I've traded a few away for other Cubs autos. And I think I did sell a chrome refractor. So I might have sold 3 Dylan Cease cards. Let's see. I bought my first Bowman Wander from Bo back in the day for $150. Very nice. So I felt the need to buy a first of Elly De La Cruz. Yes. Maybe that is my new thing. Buy the hot Bowman first every year from Bo's shop. Hey, I like that strategy. So speaking of strategy, what was my strategy going in with this Elly De La Cruz? So again, if you're just joining in, I sold this card. It sold last night. It is paid for $1,300. What was my plan? What was my strategy when you pull such a hot, expensive card? And to be honest with you, I love Bowman. I talk about Bowman incessantly, but I don't know the high-end color refractor auto market of these guys. I can tell you all about the base and where, without even looking up comps, I can pretty much price accordingly with Bowman. But when it comes to these fancy cards, I need some help. So my strategy going in, I despise, abhor auctions on eBay. Just not going to do it. Now, I'm all about 99-cent auctions on Bowman Chrome insert, Aurelvis Martinez. I'm okay with that. But when it comes to high-end stuff, not going to do it because there's too many shill bidders out there that want to pump up the prices because they may own a copy or they want to inflate comps. So, and then they don't pay. And then I get ticked off because I have to wait 4 days, which is stupid, eBay. You have to wait 4 days until you can cancel and relist. So say you put an auction up, even at 1 day, if you put a 24-hour auction up, you've got to wait 5 days. If the buyer is a shill and you have to relist, you can't cancel it for 4 days. So you've got your 24-hour auction plus the 4 days that eBay allows the buyer to pay. So you're out 5 days, you're out the money, and you're out 5 days of time. And when it's a hot new product, time is of the essence. You need to rip and flip right away because typically new card prices do this and fall. So I strongly, what's the opposite of recommend? I disrecommend, making up words now. Don't do auctions on hot cards, on expensive hot cards, because that's the main concern. So my strategy is a high buy it now price. Now you don't want to go, and this is a slippery slope because you don't want to go too high, because that will turn off potential buyers. Like, okay, say discourage. Thank you. Straight execution, discourage. I discourage auctions on high-end cards. So on eBay. So where was I at here? Lost my train of thought. So I'm going to go to Herman's comment. Sitting at the airport Sunday, all I heard was, come on, Giannis. Lady working there watching playoffs on TV. I thought he was the only one on the court, right? So where was first to market always bring the premium? Absolutely. So my slippery slope of we'll get you a thesaurus. Thank you. So you don't want to price it too high because so I listed this at 2,500, and when I first pulled it, it's like, wow, this could be $1,000 card. And that was kind of my, like, I hope I can get $1,000 on this, because then it'll, after fees and shipping, it'll almost pay for all my boxes. But then it's like, what if it's worth, I don't know that market. What if it's worth even more? And then I start looking at some of the, like a base auto sold for like 400. It's like, if a base auto sold for 400, a color to 75s got to be worth more than 1,000. So I listed at 2,500, which right off the bat, probably a little too high, because say the goal is to get 1,200. That's less than 50%. A lot of people aren't going to want to put that offer in, because they're just going to expect it to get automatically rejected, declined right off the bat. They may be a solid buyer for it, but like, I'm not going to waste the time, because it's, he wants way too much for it. So you kind of got to be careful on what you list that initial price for on the buy it now or best offer. So I did field some offers. Some of my initial offers were like $700-800. So they were not afraid to go far under, which weren't bad offers when it sold for $1,300. So $800 actually isn't too far off from it. So this is actually, so Terry says first to market always brings the premium. And and I mentioned, like, Bowman, usually, you got release day, it's up here, and then it just kind of goes down. My offers actually did the opposite on this card. And I'm talking about the Elly De La Cruz yellow chrome auto. The offers went in reverse. My first offer, I think, was $750, maybe $700 or $750 was my first offer. And then I got $1,000 offer. And then I think I got like an $1,100 offer. So they just kept creeping up. And then I had somebody message me, and they're like, they sent an $1,100 offer last night. They said, hey, can you counter? Because I had 53 watchers on the card. So I figured I'm going to let this ride out for 24 hours and collect offers. So he was a motivated buyer. He had actually sent me 2 messages while I was going live, going through that $60 bargain box. Here I am spending the night going through a $60 penny box, digging out $2 cards. And I've got people messaging me about a $1,300 card. Where are my priorities? That's what I'd much rather enjoy. Now, I like the money, but the fun, it's a lot more fun digging through bargain boxes than, trying to negotiate a $1,300 card. The end result's a lot better on the $1,300 card, but the more fun is digging through the bargain box. So I got back to him after the video, and I countered at $1,300, and he accepted and paid, and I'll be shipping it off today. So I discourage, thank you, Straight Execution, for the proper verbiage. I discourage auctions on higher end stuff, because until eBay fixes that automatic payment, or lessens, goes from 4 days back to 2. It used to be 2 days, I think, because that kills that. I mean, that 5 days or more. What if you're doing a 7-day auction? You've got 7 days of auction plus 4 days that the buyer has to pay. You've wasted almost 2 whole weeks, 11 days. That's a killer when it comes to a new product. So not only do I discourage auctions, especially if it comes to 5 or 7, pay the dollar and do a 1 or a 3-day auction if you go that route. But I do discourage auctions on hot products. I had somebody reach out to me. I won't name names, but it was a hot player who has since been not hot, and it was a very low numbered serial number. And my initial was, price it at, and I'll just give the prices, price it at $1,000 or best offer, and just kind of field the offers. But I think you might be able to sell it. And then I was chatting with some people in a Cubs group. I just gave that part away, and might even be between 1,000 and 1,500. So it was listed. I think they listed buy it now or best offer 1,500. Ended up putting it at auction, and I think it only sold for 300. And I think had it been at $1,000 or best offer, I think eventually within a few days, some much better offers than $300 would have came in. I think I think there's a time where, yes, you do need to pounce at times on some of the first, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes the first offer is the best offer, but sometimes you have to be patient. And sometimes if you wait, I waited almost a week, 5 days. When did I pull that? I think I pulled this on Sunday. So 4 days. It seemed a lot longer than 4 days, though. Sometimes if you wait a few days, the right offer will come along. These days in the hobby, a player can have a great game or two, and all of a sudden his or her card value jumps 20 to 30% or more. Wonder if your guy had a good game or two after you listed it. No, he's just so the thing with this guy, Elly De La Cruz, he's like the top prospect. One of him and Khalil Watson are the two top prospects in 2022 Bowman. He is he just turned 20 years old and he's already in high A. So he's got that aura. So he's I don't even know what his stats are. Let's check it out. Elly De La Cruz, he's playing for, I believe, the Dayton Dragons, which is the Reds Midwest League team. Now that I think of it, they play in the same league as my hometown Midwest League affiliate, the Beloit Snappers. So I'll have to see when Dayton comes to town. Actually, Dayton might be in the other league. So let's see. So 2022 stats: he's had 72 at bats. He's only hitting 264. He does have 3 home runs in 72 at bats. 13 runs scored, 13 RBI, 7 stolen bases. He's got a 312 on base percentage. So those are actually for a guy that just turned 20 a few months ago. Those are really respectable numbers for the Midwest League. Man had a great game. Yeah, I don't think he's had like nothing that would spike his prices. He hasn't had, let's look at his game log here this week. He hasn't had any one game that's, let's see, today's May 6th. So last few games. So this week, so Sunday, he was 2 for 4. He hasn't hit any home runs this week. He's, let's see, hits 3. He's 3 for 9 with 2 runs scored and no extra base hits. Oh, 1 double. So no, he's done okay. Let's see. Herman says, I know when cards I bid on end and am always watching at the end, then pay immediately. Has the 22 Bowman pulled buyers to make multiple card orders of other sets that is moving other cards in your store that might not have moved without the Bowman listed? That makes sense. Yes, that does make sense. I think so. My numbers and my overall sales have spiked in the last week. And I think that is just, there's more eyeballs coming in. My impressions, my 30-day average on impressions have gone in the last week from around 14 million to 16 million. So I've boosted my impressions 2 million in the last week. And pretty much all I've listed in this week has been Bowman. I did list some non-Bowman cards yesterday afternoon. But for the most part, I think Bowman has driven a lot of. Now, I don't think I've had any like multi-card orders where it's been a mix of Bowman and other cards. And I'm sure there are some examples. I'll find out more as I dive deeper into shipping today. I'm sure there are some examples. Not a crazy amount, though. Let's see. What else is going on? So I may buy some Bowman today. I'm gonna hit Walmart up. I'm gonna hit the Walmarts and see if there's any restock. Here's my fear though with 2022 Bowman. My fear is they just absolutely front loaded, and this is conspiracy. Get on my my tinfoil hat. Conspiracy theory. They front loaded all the hits in the first wave. And then because you saw the odds, and I absolutely crushed the odds, and I talked about that in a previous video, that now like the next waves, the restocks are just going to be brutal. So that's my fear. So I've got to temper my my Bowman buying, but I will buy some if I see them. So I'm looking at the Beloit Snapper schedule to see if Elly De La Cruz plays. Let's see, no Dayton on the schedule in May. I've got to wait until I think June before I get to see my South Bend Cubs come to town. The very end of June, June 28th, 29th, 30th, into that weekend. So no Dayton Dragons in June. Let's see. And I have a feeling Elly De La Cruz will be with the Dayton Dragons the whole season because he is only 20 years old, and he'll be 20 the entire season. Let's see. No Dayton Dragons in July. Let's go to August. So I don't think they may have already played them. See, Dayton's in the other division, so I think they only have like one crossover series. So they probably already played Dayton. So I won't get to see Elly De La Cruz in Beloit this year. Fall Creek Collectibles, good morning. They put all the crappy cards in the JC Penney hobby boxes. What's up with that? I saw somebody post about JC Penney having I actually went to the website and I couldn't find them, but I had the opportunity from Fanatics and I ended up just pulling away, not buying any. I'll buy some blasters, or I think fat packs are being stocked this week. I've seen some pictures of those. Lance Jones says Bowman first off the line, right? Yeah, the front-loaded first off the line Bowman, just absolutely stocked. So what else is going on? What do you have going on this weekend? For me, no card shows. There is the Oak Creek card show, so check that out. I think there's some autograph guests or an autograph guest in Oak Creek, Wisconsin tomorrow. I think it's a Green Bay Packer. So this is the only weekend the entire month that I won't be at a card show. I'll be in Rockford, Illinois next Saturday, Green Bay, Wisconsin the following Saturday, and then May 28th is the Madison card show on John Nolan Drive at the Sheraton Hotel. Got to get John Nolan mentioned in. Local card show Sunday in Schaumburg. Very nice. I've been to that show. I actually set up as a dealer back last summer. I think it was right before the National, actually. I think I was set up there the week before. The plan was I want to set up so I have extra cash for the National, and I actually probably lost money setting up at the Schaumburg show because of the travel and my table fee and the tollway. And then I had to go to Lou Malnati's and have a late lunch. So Rascal 30 says, how much were Bowman blasters in your area at retail? Same price, I think, as everywhere else, $31.98. I'm meeting up with the local Friday, Jason on Twitter. Jason and I were actually just messaging back and forth yesterday to look at the big U-Haul worth of collection he picked up a few weeks ago. Absolutely. We were messaging back and forth yesterday. Victor says, by the way, do you have a date for the Madison show in June? Yes, I do. The June show is, thank you, Jenny, June 25th. So June 25th, July 23rd, August 27th, September 24th, October 22nd, November 19th, and I did add a December date. It's not on my business card, but there will be a December show, and it will be December 17th. So the week before Christmas. So that's the slate for the Madison card show at the Sheraton Hotel. Have you ever seen Asian baseball cards at your show? I don't think so. No. Nothing like, maybe like something here or there in a showcase. Nothing that's really caught my attention. So I doubt it. It's hard. I noticed this on Saturday. I'm so I feel like I'm a chicken with its head cut off when I'm at the show, because I just feel like I'm going in 7 different directions. And so I look at tables, but I don't really I see them, but it doesn't what's on the table doesn't really now, unless the dealer that had the Babe Ruth and Jackie Robinson autos, that stuck with me. Kurt, who's on Twitter, he set up for the first time. He had some tickets. He had a great table. I know Zach and Porter spent a lot of time at his table in the downstairs ballroom. I remember that. Chris uh, Big Stank card art, awesome art. I remember that, but like cards, it's like I see them, but I don't really, they don't like, I don't sponge them up. Um, let's see. That should have been Friend, Not Friday. Look what's on my mind. Didn't think so, but wondered. Trust me, Bo ain't got time to shop. That's true. Like I didn't even at the end of the day, it's like, man, I didn't even dig through a bargain box. I didn't even dig through a bargain box, um, which is okay. Which is okay. Let's see. So I am actually heading back to my hometown this weekend. Tomorrow, I'll be heading down to Illinois for Mother's Day. Um, I'm sure she has a box of my some of my old stuff. All the good stuff I've already have. But like I've just got left out like some of my old like radio work stuff, like just papers that it's like I should just toss them, but I don't like to throw away anything. So they just kind of sit there. But then when my mom brings a box when she comes up to visit and she's like, here's another box of your crap. Then it's like, okay, this stuff needs to be thrown away. So when she came up, a couple months ago, I ended up tossing a bunch of stuff. So that's the plan. I had thought about possibly stopping at the card shop in Freeport, but I think I'm going to skip that. I've got enough going on here over the next few weeks, especially as we approach summer. So I'm going to stay away from that. Let's see. Have not heard back anything regarding the collection. I'm thinking by tonight, we'll have a response. I was thinking like they'll give us a couple days before they make a decision because they have to talk it over. I think they may go back to other people that were interested in purchasing the collection. So I figured maybe tonight or Monday. So as soon as I hear word one way or another, I'll provide an update on that big collection. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, I have a couple videos that were recently published about possibly buying a big collection with some absolute fire. So waiting on how we proceed there. Last night I went through, so I bought a $60 bulk box from one of my dealers at the Madison card show, and we dug through that together. Went live last night. Now I pulled out like one pile because it had autographs. The dealer showed me. He's like, oh, this one has some autographs in it. Got it for the same price, $60. It was a good deal. I think it turned into a great deal as we dug through it. I think Jenny still has to watch it, so I'm not going to spoil it. So that video is posted here on my channel as well. So there was a lot of fun stuff in there. It was a fun night to go through it. Rascal says, I used to be a truck driver and loved getting fresh cheese curds when I drove through Wisconsin. Fresh cheese curds are great. Sometimes when I go grocery shopping hungry, I'll pick up a bag and I end up eating the whole bag. They are good. I actually prefer fresh cheese curds to fried cheese curds. Now I love fried cheese curds, but there's just something about fresh cheese curds, just snacking on them, that I really enjoy. Jenny says, I'm not sure how I would feel about that. If I make an offer, I wouldn't want the seller to go to others and say, oh, X person offered this. Like, just let me know if you like my offer. Yeah, yes and no. I get it. I sharing an offer, maybe not, but I think you definitely, as the seller, you have to do, you do need to explore your options if there are others interested in field offers, kind of like on eBay. Say the Elly De La Cruz, it's listed for $2,000, $2,500 on eBay, and you just start taking offers. And typically I wait, if it's a 24-hour offer, I'll give it 16 hours just to collect others before I make a move. And it's counted in. And sometimes you say, like, if somebody says, 1,000's my best offer, it's like, well, this guy's going to give me 1,200. and then just go back and then it becomes almost like an offer auction. So if I think it's in their best interest uh, to reach out to the other people that expressed interest. And I don't know if they have any other like solid offers, but I think it would be in their best interest just to talk and have open dialogue with it. So just in the negotiation process. And then there's sometimes where you play games, and this is what I hated about negotiating and what I hated about my previous job. Um, and sometimes you knew when someone was BSing you, and it's like, if you know the market, you have the price, and I've got, we set an offer, um, and I think when you extend an offer, you place some wiggle room in that offer. Um, and you place some wiggle room in that offer, and you kind of know, okay, if they come back to this, but I'm not going, because the market, I'm not going above this number, but it may not be your initial offer. So that's, it's just part of the game, which I hate. And Rascal mentions Ellsworth Co-op, usually bought them around Menominee. Very nice. Rascal mentioned he was a truck driver. That's the industry I worked in. And so, I worked for, I was on the sales side for a third party, the brokers. And it's just, I did not enjoy that negotiating process and all that. Jenny says, I can see that. I can also see as the seller, if I waited, the buyer might walk away. If it's an offer, jump on it. That would be the same as a seller. Yeah, you don't want to let it go too long. I'm okay to wait. It was, thank God. No, it was not Landstar. It was not Landstar. It was, I can say it. Allen Lund Company was the name of the company. ALC, based in La Cañada, California, out near LA, an LA suburb. Family owned company. It's not the CH Robinsons, not Landstar, some of the other TQL, some of those that, you know, I have my thoughts on some of those companies. On my own truck for a while until my truck blew an engine. Oh, that sucks. So yeah. So with Jenny, yeah, I'm okay. Like I'm comfortable. I'm not going to rescind my offer. Was leased to Landstar. Gotcha. Okay. So I'm not in, in these sellers they're really nice people. So, I think both sides of this, potential transaction are very transparent, and, I think a deal will get done. And, I know the situation. It's not, it's a family decision. So, I'm willing to give it time. It's not like I need an answer today or tomorrow. Like, I'm willing to wait, and I'm okay with that. And really, if they said, we're gonna continue exploring, I'm okay. Like, I don't need to buy this collection today or next week. Like, if they decide to sit on it and you know fish out and collect more offers, I'm okay with that. But I'm not going to really raise my offer. If they came back and a few weeks later and said, now we have this offer that's a few $1,000s above what your offer was, take it. I know my price, and I'm not willing to go to that price. So this is my price. So, but I don't think it's going to come to that. I really don't. I think we'll get an answer here in the next couple days. If not today, I think by Monday night, I think we should have some type of answer. Rascal says, sorry to get off subject of cards. No, we all, and usually Fridays is when we get the most off topic, which I actually enjoy. Sometimes it's fun to talk about other things. And I've now been out of the transportation industry for, what's it been, 7 months now, almost 7 months. And so now I don't have that headache hangover anymore of the daily, and I'm sure on your side it was stressful as well, especially blowing an engine. So that's what I've got going on this weekend. Heading back home, Anawan, Illinois. Speaking of, I saw somewhere, I think it was on Facebook, and this is totally off the topic of cards as well. So I saw an article about the longest road in America. It's US 20. It's a highway that goes from somewhere in Wyoming to the East Coast, which at first glance, it's like, well, that's a couple thousand miles. That, I know other road, I-80 goes from coast to coast. I grew up, in fact, the home I grew up in is right on US Route 6, which goes from Massachusetts to the San Francisco area, maybe Barstow. And it's like, that's longer than US 20, Wyoming to, wherever. So then I got to, so I Googled it, and sure enough, US 20 is the longest, and US 20 actually goes through Illinois as well. I think it goes in through Dubuque. I think, is Scott in the chat? Where's Scott? I think US 20 goes through Dubuque and like maybe Galena, Rockford or Freeport, one of those. And it kind of winds and it goes up into Minnesota. So US 20, longest road, it's like 3,350 miles from somewhere in Wyoming to the East Coast. So I'm like, Route 6, which I like, Route 6 was my front yard. Like we like the house I grew up in was right on Route 6, literally right on Route 6. And yes, it goes, there's Scott. Yes, it goes through Dubuque, US 20, longest road in America. So I'm like, Route 6 has to be longer because it goes from California to Massachusetts. So I Googled it. It's the second longest road in America. It's like 100 miles less than US 20. It's like 3,250 miles. It stretches from, I think, Provincetown, Massachusetts or something like that, to, I think, Barstow, California. So, and then I-80's up there as well, which I-80 is, goes through my hometown as well, Anawan. It's like a mile. You can hear it from the house I grew up in. Oh my God, write it down. Texas car dude himself is in the live chat. What is up, Brad? Terry says US 20, 3 miles from my house here in Ohio. Scott says US 20 goes through Galena, Stockton, Freeport, and Rockford. Very nice. Okay. I think I actually jump on US 20 in, is it Freeport? Let's see, Freeport. Maybe not. I was thinking when I jump, when I'm driving through, so that's, I go through Freeport when I drive back to my hometown sometimes. But I think it's Monroe, Wisconsin, where I cut across on a highway to go to the Walmart, because the Walmart's like a mile off the road I drive north-south through. Let's see. Scott says it's 1 mile from mine. We are all connected by US 20. It's quite a ways from me, though. Herman says he lives. Hey, Bo and everyone, this makes my day. Mine too. I'm alive. Dr. Frankenstein voice. So US 20, longest road in America, Route 6, right behind it, number 2. We have Highway 20 in the Mississippi River. Dubuque is famous. Cooter, what's up? He grew up on the original Route 66. Very cool. So it got me thinking, so speaking of these highways, I think On the Road by Jack Kerouac, I think it was based on Route 6, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a book I tried to read like in high school, and I did not read books in high school. I read the Cliff Notes. Remember before the internet, when you had those yellow Cliff Notes? I would go to the Book Emporium and usually just buy magazines, but the Book Emporium had Cliff Notes. So To Kill a Mockingbird, and what else did I have to read in high school? All of those books I had to read in high school, I bought Cliff Notes, and I had yellow Cliff Notes of all those books. I hated reading. And then like right after high school, I kind of got in. I think Ball 4 by Jim Bouton was the first baseball book that I read, and it kind of got me hooked. So Ball 4, and then I read Vec as in Wreck, the biography of Bill Vec. What else did I read? I read a biography on Jim McMahon. There was a couple other. Let's see. What was the Yankees book that was like Ball 4-esque? I can't remember who. I think maybe the Bronx Zoo. So I read that, and then I tried to read On the Road. And I could not get into it, but I was only like 18. So I think I'm gonna try to find it and read On the Road. Because I've always been fascinated by roads, like on the road stories. Like I love to travel, see the open road, visit like the small towns, and just see how life works in other places. So I've always been fascinated by the book. I've just never read it. I've started to read it, but I just haven't committed. So I think I'm going to commit myself to reading On the Road. Anyway, we really got off track, didn't we? Johnny Boy Cards, I did the same thing, never read the books. Hey, did you know life is a highway? I want to write it all night long. Great song. There's another song that came out around the same time. It's what was it called? Friday I'm in Love. Was that The Cure? Who did that? Was that The Cure or The Cult that did Friday I'm in Love? Since today's Friday, some great Friday songs. Friday I'm in Love. The Cure. Yeah, of course, The Cure. Great song. Anyway, I finished watching The Battered Bastards of Baseball last night. All you need to watch it. That is great. I've seen that. The Cure. There we go. Yeah, Battered Bastards of Baseball is an awesome documentary. I would also recommend that documentary. So going on 1 hour. I think that's about all I wanted to touch on today. I will go live tomorrow morning. Probably somewhere in the 8 a.m. realm. So I'm going to go live, and then I'm not sure what time I'm going to head back home. It's townwide garage sales in my hometown, so I may actually leave somewhat early so I can try to catch some. But it's about a 2.5 hour drive, so I don't know if I'll make it. But so I will go live probably around 8 a.m. tomorrow. No show on Sunday because I'll still be on the road. So Sunday, no show, and then back to 7 a.m. Central on Monday. Other programming notes, I will be providing an update on the collection when we hear back from the sellers on how to proceed, if we're going to proceed. If we do proceed, it's going to be a lot of fun because we're going to go to John's consignment shop down in Evansville, Wisconsin, and we'll sort it all out, divvy it up, and then we'll also do a draft with some of the lower end stuff. The high end stuff will definitely piece out. We've got to comp it all out. So I might even try to do some editing. Herman and I, when Herman was here this past weekend, we were talking about videos and the editing process and all that. Neither of us are big on editing. So that was something that so we were talking about the whole editing. So I might actually try to splice some stuff together. So we'll see. I'm starting to learn and get my feel on StreamYard. So why not just go all in? So we're gonna do that if we do proceed with that collection purchase. I might do a nostalgia break sometime next week. Not sure which pack I'll open. I've got some 70s stuff. I think I might go back to the 70s for some non-sports rips. And then today I'm gonna go look for some Bowman. If I come across a Bowman blaster, I might do a rip just for fun. Let's see. John, have a great day. Jenny, you too. Texas Car Dude said, yes, I need more engineers on Hobby Hotline. So yes, by the way, Hobby Hotline tomorrow, 10 a.m. Central Time. So check that out. Brad, who's on Hobby Hotline tomorrow? I am not sure. I'd like to time it out so I'm on the road during Hobby Hotline because it gives me great content to listen to as I'm driving. So I'll try to aim for a 9:55 ETA for leaving. Herman used Canva for the first time this week. I love Canva. Absolutely love Canva. That's where I do all my YouTube thumbnails. I just have the free version and it works out great. Skid marks will be had. Brad, Logan, and Jeff on Hobby Hotline tomorrow. Excellent. So it'll be a great show. Hobby Hotline. Check it out tomorrow, 10 a.m. Central. And I think I'm on Tuesday. Let me check. I don't know if, Brad, you have that schedule handy. I've got to go into my DMs and see. Let's see. I think I'm on Tuesday. I think I'm on twice. Brad, I'm looking forward to the end of the month. I think it's the May 31st show. I think it's you, me, and Rich. That will be a blast. I am looking forward to that. Calendar is set. Where are we at? I'm trying to find the Hobby Hotline schedule for the month of May. It's somewhere in this. Somewhere. There we go. Let's see. I am on the 10th. Yeah, so I'm on Tuesday with Suze. By the way, Suze had her one of her Allen and Ginter autograph cards sold for over $200. Suze has a card in Allen and Ginter from a few years ago, sold for like $220 on eBay. So I'm on with her and Drew. That's on Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Central. And then I'm on again with Uncle Rich and Brad on Tuesday, May 31st. So that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to hanging out with Brad and Rich. So that's what I had for today. Thanks for the Friday free for all. We talked a little bit about we talked about books. We talked about not reading books. We talked about the longest road in America. We talked about negotiating. We talked about this. The final sale. Elly De La Cruz, first chrome yellow refractor, sold $1,300. So was excited that sold and paid for all my Bowman blasters. So have a great weekend. Back on tomorrow morning around 8 a.m. Central Time. Subject to change. We'll see. But have a great Friday, and we'll chat again tomorrow morning.